Good morning, guys. So today we're going to read about hurricanes. We're going to continue with our compare and contrast, but this time we're going to do it with two texts. So what we have here are two texts, both about hurricanes. So this is a really important skill we have that um, the texts are about the same topic, but they're not 100% the same. This is very much about similar to learning to vote in the election day articles from last week. They present similar ideas on the same topic, but obviously they're written a little bit differently, and you will notice that some details are the same and some are different. So this is a really important skill to have to be able to determine what is the same and what is different about these two texts, and then to go on to use this information to answer questions. So a lot of times we're really good at comparing and contrasting two separate ideas. So maybe let's say hurricanes and tornadoes, dogs and cats, etc. We've gotten really good at that. But now we're going to dive a level deeper and we're going to take two texts on the same topic. We have to have a little bit more of a detective eye when we go through this because a lot of it will seem fairly similar on the surface. So we have to pay extra close attention to what is different. So I want you to kind of keep in mind as I'm reading through these today. If you want, it'd be really helpful if you want to take notes in your notebook. You could either set this up as a Venn diagram. A Venn diagram is a great way to compare and contrast, which we actually do have here at the end of this. So if you want to set something up like that, if you prefer your boxes and bullets, that's also a great way to set this up. You could do a boxes and bullets for how and where hurricanes form, and then a boxes and bullets for staying safe from destruction if you want to do it that way. You will have to complete the Venn diagram at the end. So it's kind of up to you. If you want to pause it right now and set up your notebook for how you'd like to take notes on it, this is a great time to do it. And just keep that really, I call it a discerning eye, or an eye of just being very, very critical. Today we're getting down to the details. The differences between dogs and cats are quite obvious, right? But now the differences between two articles about hurricanes are going to be much more specific. Keep that in mind as I go through this. I'm going to read both articles for you. I will kind of pause along the way to give you some time. And the first one we're going to start with is on the left, how and where hurricanes form. Hurricanes are very powerful storms that are capable of causing severe damage. Some hurricanes produce winds stronger than 155 miles per hour that are able to devastate homes and buildings. Knowing how and where hurricanes form can help keep you safe if a hurricane does strike. So I would stop, maybe pull out a main idea sentence from there. It's kind of starting to tell us that it's about the damage that they cause. But then it also says how to keep yourself safe. So I'm wondering, it's going to sound, so far I think both ideas will come to play, but let's read on to find out. Hurricanes form over warm water after the ocean has been heated up during hot summer months. Because hurricanes need warm water, they occur most often during the late summer and early fall. In the Atlantic Ocean, hurricane season is from June to November. So if I was trying to pull out my main idea from just that little paragraph, I would say hurricanes form when it's warm, right? There's other details that support that, such as summer months, June to November, warm water. That's just kind of our big idea from that one. Now we'll keep moving on. Again, you will need those small details, but if we're just trying to kind of pull out some big ideas right now, that's where we'd be headed. Also, since hurricanes need warm ocean water to form, the people that are affected by hurricanes live in areas near the coast. People who don't live near the coast have no reason to worry about staying safe during a hurricane. Okay, so now the article is telling me they form near the coast. Okay. If you live somewhere that hurricanes might occur, it is important for you to know what to do to protect yourself. Make sure you board up your windows and stay indoors during the storm. All right, so there's a little bit more about staying safe, which I see the title for the next one's about staying safe. So I imagine that's something that they'd have in common would be that last paragraph. And then also where it's talking about living near the coast, I imagine that's another way to, it's kind of talking about how to stay safe there. I'm noticing, and it's hard to say yet because I haven't read the other article yet, But I'm noticing there were some ways to stay safe during this article, which is the title of the next one. So I feel like those will be some similarities. Well, we gotta actually read the next one to kind of figure out where this one's going. So hopefully you have a few notes taken from that one. At least, I'd say at least one idea per paragraph, like we've been working on, just identify the main idea or the pop-out sentence in each paragraph. So at least 4 notes written in your notebook. The next one is hurricanes, staying safe from destruction. Hurricanes can be very dangerous and deadly storms. When a hurricane moves ashore, it can cause damage in a number of ways. It is important to know how to, let me try that over. It is important to know how to keep yourself safe during a hurricane. So just like the title told us, it's about how to keep safe during a hurricane. Hurricanes can cause destruction several ways. For example, wind damage during a hurricane can be harmful. Even though hurricanes can occur near coastlines, strong winds can still strike farther inland. Also, since hurricanes come with an abundance of rain, they sometimes can cause mudslides or flash floods. Well, if I'm kind of thinking back to similarities here, I'm hearing about the destruction they cause in both of them. Wind damage, and the other one there was talking about 155-mile-an-hour winds. I'm starting to see some similarities here. Mudslides or flash floods I didn't hear about in the other one, so I know that's different. Everybody should know how to stay safe in case of a hurricane, whether you live in a place that hurricanes are likely to occur or not. First, have a plan of evacuation, a plan to leave the area, and listen to local weather stations for any weather advisories. If you don't have time to evacuate, then find a place to stay that is safe. Make sure your shelter is on higher ground, the windows are boarded, and that you stay inside until the hurricane passes. Ooh, that last paragraph, I was hearing quite a bit of similarities, especially to the last paragraph of the article on the left. Windows are boarded up, stay indoors. So while these are different, they're the same topic, different subtopics. So one is about how and where hurricanes form. The other one's about staying safe from destruction. There's still a lot of similarities that I'm hearing between the two of them. Our eye today is to be a very, very, very close detective and figure out exactly what is the same and what is different between the two. We're going to start this. I'm going to actually pull back on you guys here. We're going to start this, here we go, by completing the Venn diagram. You're going to drag and drop the details as to where they match. So this will kind of help us get like a big picture view. The Venn diagram is great for a big picture. This is a lot of larger type details. Like if you read the box in the bottom left, the author gives details about evacuating in case of a hurricane. So again, it's not giving you the specifics of how to evacuate. It's just giving you more bigger ideas. So what we will do is we will start, drag and drop each one of these into the box it belongs with. I'm just going to give you an example. That's not necessarily where it goes. I could be giving you the wrong answer. You're going to have to do the work yourself. But you're going to drag and drop it and kind of think through these bigger ideas, and then we're going to narrow it down to smaller ideas. When we're used to comparing and contrasting two opposite topics, it's usually quite bigger ideas, such as if we're comparing a dog and a cat, one barks and one meows. Okay, those are really very large differences. But now that we're doing it with two texts on the same topic, our differences become quite a bit smaller. So the Venn diagram kind of gives us like this large, let's say a telescope view. It's quite large, it blows it up, it gives us some details, but then we're going to zoom into a microscope view on the next slide. So for example here, the second one, the author explains how to stay safe in a hurricane. I mean, that's a pretty big idea. How to stay safe in a hurricane. It doesn't get into details. So this one, you're kind of just comparing and contrasting big ideas. And then when we get to our next one, we're getting much smaller. So this one is, your first task is to read through the passages, highlight the details that were mentioned in both. Again, the highlighting boxes, you can drag and drop in the highlighting boxes. So find the details that are mentioned in both. So what I would do if I were you, I would find it on how hurricanes form, highlight it, and then go to the other side and highlight it on safe for destruction with the matching one. Rather than highlighting everything on one text and then everything on the other, it's going to get a little confusing. So find it on the text on the left and then find the matching detail on the text on the right. If there's a detail that you're like, oh, this is in how and where hurricanes form, and you want to find the matching detail in the other one and it's not there, then it's not a similarity. So you have to make sure it's an idea that's brought up in both of these in order to be highlighted. And I gave you 6 of these. You might need more. You could copy and paste more. Once you have highlighted all the similarities, you list the most important detail in the text box. So I would just say the biggest idea that these have in common. And then what you're going to do here is the red circles. You're going to circle 3 details on how and where hurricanes form that are not in staying safe from destruction. So your red circles will go over here where how and where hurricanes form. I'll give you a red circle up top here. So you'll go through and you'll say something like, I'll go to some hurricanes produce winds stronger than 155 miles an hour. Yes, it said over here that winds cause destruction, but it didn't say 155 miles an hour. So I might take that box, or actually circle, excuse me, and circle this detail. You can drag and drop those circles and you can make them smaller and shorter and bigger, whatever you need. So you'll have 3 details from here that are just in this article. They're not the same in both. And then you'll go to your next article on the right, how to stay safe from destruction, and you have 3 green circles. These green circles, again, are specific to just that article. So if we go back here, oops, sorry guys, sometimes this doesn't work very well. If we go back, I'm gonna go all the way back to the beginning. Here we go. This side on the right, you'll have your green for what is just specific to that article. So something like, let me go through this. Mudslides or flash floods. I definitely did not see that in the other one. So that is just in this article. So I'll drag and drop one of those green circles here. And again, 3 that are different here. So we have yellow highlighting would be what's the same in both. Remember, it has to have matching on both sides. So if you find a detail from one article, it has to be in the other one as well. And then you have 3 that are just in this article and 3 that are just in this article. And so you're really, really going to have to look closely to figure out, okay, well, this one says, I don't know, people need to protect themselves. Oh, well, this one does too, so that's not unique. But if it says something like hurricane season is from June to November, well, this one doesn't mention hurricane season, so that's a good way to go about it. I'll get through to the last one here. And then just with these, write the most important detail below. This could be kind of a main idea statement for each article. So today you really, really need to go through. If you need to replay what I read you with these, that's a great idea. Or if you need to pause it along the way while I read to take notes, also a good idea. But your focus today is finding out what's the same and what's the different on 2 texts on the same topic. This is really important because we need to be able to be critical enough to notice that even though texts are on the same topic, they're not necessarily about the same ideas.